Welcome to Mom and Real Hard, the show where moms get real and tell the truth about life after kids. We're talking real life, real mess, real laughs, and the stuff moms are thinking but don't always say out loud. I'm your host, Candace, and I'm here for the chaos, the comedy, and the moments that somehow make it all worthwhile. So grab your coffee or whatever's getting you through today, take a deep breath, and let's get momming real hard. Hey mamas, welcome back to Mom and Real Hard. Today's episode is one that I think every single mother has felt at some point, even if we don't always say it out loud. The fear of messing up our kids. Because no matter how much love we pour into them and no matter how hard we try, there's always that little voice in the back of our minds asking, am I doing enough? Did I handle that right? What if one wrong decision sticks with them forever? Motherhood comes with a kind of pressure nobody can truly prepare you for. We are raising tiny humans while also trying to heal, grow, survive, and figure ourselves out at the same time. And today's conversation really hit me because my guest said something that stopped me in my tracks. You get 3 chances because you have 3 kids, and I only get 1 shot. And honestly, that perspective opened up such a raw and vulnerable conversation about the weight moms carry every day. The pressure to raise kind humans, honest humans, emotionally healthy humans, while secretly wondering if we're somehow failing behind the scenes. We also talk about the guilt some moms carry for not giving their child a sibling, and how motherhood can sometimes feel like constantly questioning yourself while pretending you know what you're doing. Because we all do, right?
Yeah.
So if you've ever laid awake replaying parenting moments, if you've ever compared yourself to another mom, or if you've ever worried your child deserves a better version of you, this episode is for you. So let's get into it. Hi there, my friend.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good. Hanging in there.
Same.
Yeah. Well, just tell us about yourself, who you are. Give us a little intro.
My name is Chrissy Jackson. I have lived in Nashville my whole life. Candace and I actually went to high school together. You're a little younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 2 years, I think. Yeah,
2 years.
probably right. Mm-hmm. I met my husband here, and we're high school sweethearts. We got together when we were 17, and here we are 21 years later, 22 years later, 22 years later. Married, and we have a 16-year-old daughter.
16.
Mm-hmm.
Getting into those crazy teenage years.
We were in the crazy teenage years when she was like 12, but just saying.
So you've been going through the crazy teenage years for a while.
Yes.
Is she driving yet?
She is, yeah. So we got her license on her birthday, well, a day or so after her birthday. And we bought her a truck because she's like, Mom, I want a truck, which made sense because if you know my kid, like she's very tomboyish,
right.
But can be so beautifully girly.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought her a truck, and then it was totaled like a month later by a tree. Unfortunately,
Oh, no.
The tree in our front yard fell on it, like during a windstorm. Like it was out of nowhere. We didn't even fortunately nobody was home, but. So she has another vehicle now, and so it actually is kind of nice that she drives because that couple of that week that she wasn't driving, we had already gotten used to her driving.
Oh yeah, so then you were having to play driver.
Yeah,
again.
we were having to figure out how she was going to get to work and all those things. So yeah. But yeah.
I'm sure there's some different fears that go into that too, just being on the road. It's not always about them. That's what I try to tell the kids too. It's not always about you. I trust you. I don't trust everybody else.
Oh my gosh, I tell her that all the time. I'm like, it's not you, kiddo. But yeah, other drivers, nuts.
Yes.
So yeah, it does freak me out that she drives. But, as she tells me, Mom, I can't be little forever.
Oh,
so yeah.
That's very true. You gotta let them grow up sometime, right?
Yeah, we do. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate, but here we are.
Here we are.
Now we know how our moms feel.
I know. I hate that because when you're younger, you're like, oh, what is she talking about? She don't know what she's talking about. And then once you get older, you're like, man, she really didn't know what she was talking about. Gotta give props to mamas. They know what they're talking about, guys, even if you don't want to believe it. So husband, daughter, and you also, what else do you do in life?
So I have a hospitality career of like 20 some odd years, where I managed festivals, events, and concerts and banquets and all the things.
Busy mama.
Yeah, and then about almost 5 years ago, got my real estate license, and have just been figuring out life since then.
Right.
So figuring out how to, really kind of incorporate both worlds, because
Together, yeah.
I love the events world, but also know like longevity wise it's not sustainable. My mom was in the hospitality industry forever and killed her back and her knees and all the things. So
Oh yeah, because it's very labor intensive. You're on your feet, you're working long shifts, running back and forth, probably carrying heavy stuff.
Yep.
So
yep.
physically demanding.
Yes.
I understand that. But you did say you're a realtor. So one thing I want you to do is describe your dream home to me. Anywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Just lay it out. Because I don't know. Look, so I'm a big manifester, if you guys don't know. But I've already drawn out my dream home. Like I have it, the plans and everything. She's not in existence yet, but she will be one day.
So honestly, I would love to have like 10 or 15 acres. So my husband has a little space that he can maybe hunt or whatever, maybe more than that. He would really like 25 or 50, but
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of acreage and it's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But I really love, well, if it's treed, so think about that. Hunting land, you want kind of like.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
More dense.
So I really want like a really big front porch. Like when I was growing up, my granny had like a front porch and she would sit there. My dad lives in my granny's old house, and so I love going over there because I can sit on the front porch and just like listen to the rain and all that. But I want just a really big front porch. I really don't care what the rest of the house looks like. I just want the really nice front porch and a really nice kitchen. So
big
simple things,
porch.
right?
Simple things.
Yeah.
Simple things make us happy.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Mine has a very big long wraparound porch. It's all on one level because when I'm old, I do not want to climb stairs.
Oh, I live in a one-level house now.
Yeah,
already.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, thank you for the stairs.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it. That's cool. Get you some acres. Are we gonna have animals, or we just hunt?
My kid wants animals, but she ain't gonna be living at home very long, so she gonna get her own animals and her own dream.
Sorry, kid. I guess you're not getting that farm at Mama's house. You're gonna have to get your own farm.
Oh yeah, I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. to go feed all the animals.
Yeah.
Not happening.
That's what I said. Travis said he wants a farm too. And I said, yeah, but you go to work. So it's going to end up being Candace's farm. And Candace is not Old MacDonald by any means.
Nor am I.
No, we are not farming the Dale. We're not going out there. I'm not shucking nothing. So you can have your farm, but don't expect me to help. Love you though. Love you though. I might help you sell some eggs or something. I don't know, but that's about it. So what, as a mom, is one thing you think you kind of forget more than anything else?
I think the biggest thing that I forget is really just to take care of me, because in reality, like in the hospitality industry, your heart, like you have to have a special heart for that, and like you pour into others because you want them to have a good time. So like as a mom, I always make sure that I put, my husband or my daughter and everyone else before me. And my husband has to remind me all the time. He's like, you got to do stuff for us. Like, you need to do stuff for you. Like, so that's the biggest thing, is just I really forget sometimes to like pour into myself.
Yes.
And so that's really what the last few years have been. So
trying to pour into yourself, finding who you are.
Yeah.
That's one thing we try to talk about a lot, is because you can't, they always say pour from an empty cup, right? You have to take care of you. Even if the cup is half full, you at least got a little bit of something. So that's why I definitely encourage during our Reset the Nest, if y'all been following along, you know what that is, to take that 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes every night, just for something. Whether it's, if you want to journal, or you like to watch trash reality TV like me. I take an hour. Last night I was watching Summer House late at night by myself, and it's my little time to just enjoy what I enjoy,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be big. You don't have to go out, and do anything, but you have to take time for you.
Totally agree. So I've actually read 4 books this year, which like for me is a lot. because I'm not a fast reader because I just didn't ever have time for it before.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of been getting into that, and it's been good. So. Well, I read Housemaids. If you haven't seen it or read it, you should. Yes, so it's a movie, but the movie and the book are so different.
Which should I read the book first?
So read the book first, and then watch the movie. Right now, I'm reading It Ends With. No, I just read It Ends With Us. I read that one.
Okay. I saw that movie.
But I also read this book called The Law of Innocence by Michael Connolly.
Okay.
And so it's based on, the book itself is really cool, but the TV series on Netflix, it's The Lincoln Lawyer. Okay. So it's based on his books. And so I read the book, and I had no idea, what I was getting into. And then I went and watched the whole series. Oh, my gosh, so good. So good.
Okay.
So, yeah. So now I got to read the rest of the Michael Connolly series, so I can see how it lines up with the TV series.
Well, hey, all readers out there, I used to be a really big reader, and I will every now and then if something comes out that I'm super excited about, but I think reading makes me go to sleep. I'm a movies girl.
I was kind of like that too, but I think more as I'm more am into reading and make time for it, it just. Yeah.
It puts you in a different world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you a little escape.
Yeah.
So let's start getting into some of the heavier questions. Do you think moms these days put more pressure on themselves than past generations?
Oh yeah. I mean, with social media and comparing yourself to other people and other moms and what they're doing, you can sometimes get so caught up in all of that. I mean, I get caught up in it, and then I have to remind myself my kid doesn't even like stuff like that. Why am I worried about that? So I do feel when our parents were younger, they didn't have social media, and they really had no way to compare themselves to other moms unless they saw it on TV. Mm-hmm. And other than that, I mean, you had PTO or PTA, whatever they called it back then, and you had your parents come in and do stuff. But I mean, really and truly, you see it so much, and I think that's just in general, right? Social media in general, and just the comparison. But I think that's the biggest thing is as moms, we try to make everything so perfect, and really our kids don't need it perfect. They just need it to be you and doing your best and seeing you do your best.
Right, and exactly how they want, because 9 times out of 10, they just want a cake, some pizza, and their friends. They don't want these extravagant balloon and those are nice. It's beautiful. You know what I mean? And we can tell that you put a lot of thought and care, and you love your children and stuff. But at the end of the day, they don't care. So just if you can do it, great. You know what I'm saying? If you can do it and that's what you want to do, you can do it. But if you cannot afford to do it and you're trying to financially push yourself just to keep up, that it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Your kids don't care. You can make it small on a budget, and they're going to have just as much fun.
I mean, a slumber party and having your kids to have their friends over, spend the night. Or, I have a friend who really stopped doing birthday parties unless they were, family gatherings, with just the immediate family. And then they just go and, go to the park for the day and take a few friends, or they go find some fun activity. So, just so you're not putting so much pressure on yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, we stopped doing birthday parties.
Yeah.
Nobody really ever can show up, and then the kids just kind of get disappointed, and you spent all this money on these decorations that nobody even got to see or eat, and it's just so I'm going to spend the money, take the kids wherever they want to go for the day, and then move on.
With my daughter, we did kind of the same thing, but we have a big family and friend group, and so our family, we call them family. So we'll just do a thing at the house, and we'll do cake, and maybe we'll have pizza, or maybe we won't. But usually, I mean, that's really all we do. It's just a birthday dinner. Yeah. She doesn't really have a party with friends or anything like that anymore.
Yeah.
We stopped doing that years ago, too.
Don't worry about it. They don't care.
No,
they don't care.
They don't.
So, the spark of this conversation was that you told me that I get 3 chances and you only get 1. Right. Talk more about that. What does that mean to you that, since I do have 3 children, right, and you only have 1, kind of elaborate on what that means to you.
Yeah, so, I always thought I was going to have, like, I was going to be that, you know, mom that had, like, multiple kids and all the things. And when I was younger, I always kind of, like, was Mother Hubbard. My granny used to get, like, so crazy. She would tell my mom, like, you need to stop having her do things for her sister and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, as James and I, you know, we accidentally got pregnant with her. I was actually working with your mom this summer. I got pregnant with her. And your mom was the first one to actually feel her kick. Like,
oh, that's
yes.
so sweet.
So I was sitting in the office with her and I was like, Terry, oh my gosh. And she was like, what? I was like, I just felt her. And she was like, nuh-uh. And then she did it again, but then she didn't do it for like weeks after.
No.
So, funny story. But after we had her, I mean, my husband, you know, he got laid off from work. Like, she was 8 months old. And so, you know, he had a really great job. I had a good job. But then we had to, like, really financially, we took a huge hit.
Yeah.
I mean, he took like almost a 75% pay cut by the time you paid for insurance and all the things. And so, like, we struggled for a long time, and we told ourselves that we weren't going to put ourselves in a even more crazy financial, you know, pickle. And so, we tossed it around the idea of having another kid, and then we didn't, because we was like, if we don't have another kid by the time she's 10, like, we're not having another kid. And I was working, you know, sometimes 60, 80 hours a week. He was working, you know, 2 jobs as well. And then, you know, sometimes he was working night shift depending on, you know, where he was at and what he was doing. And so, like, it was hard. Like, we didn't have a routine schedule, because I would have to be at breakfast at 5 a.m. sometimes, or then I would work, you know, an event until midnight or 1 a.m.
Right.
And so, you know, by the time she was 10, we didn't have any other children. We were like, well, I mean, like, 10 years apart. My mom and her brother were 10 years apart, and me and my half brother are 10 years apart, and we just don't really have a relationship.
Yeah.
So, you know, Allie begged us for years about having a sibling, and I just felt really like I owed it to her. And I wanted my husband to have a son, but, you know, you can't ever
predict that.
Yeah, like that, just whatever God gives us. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, after that, I was like, okay, well, we're not going to have any more kids. And so we just decided we're done. And my sister-in-law started having kids, and, you know, Allie's really close with her cousins, and, I mean, like, so close now, like, she goes and picks them up and will, like, bring them to the house and, like, calls and asks them, do you want to hang out with me?
Right.
Like, so I love that she has that relationship with them.
Yeah.
But for us, like, we just decided that our trio worked well. And so, you know, we're just here. And now, like, she's 16, and, you know, she's at home. She works sometimes, or she's at her friends. And so we're, like, halfway empty nesters sometimes. And so we're like, reconnecting.
Oh,
But
that's great.
it's really hard, I think, if you were to start over at this age. I mean, I'll be 40 this year, and, like, I have no plans to birth a child at 40 years old.
Yeah.
Like, no.
It's definitely different from 26 to 36.
Yeah.
That is 100% for sure. I always said I wouldn't do it 5 years, and I ended up waiting 10. I don't know what possessed me. Obviously, I would never take back Reiki. She's the biggest blessing, and I got my girl, so, you know. But it is a lot harder on you when you're older. I had a lot more patience, or maybe I just handled situations. They're also different kids, right?
Yeah.
Lyric was very easy. He was very quiet. He was very just kind of chill. Riker is not. Riker is everywhere. She is my feral beauty little girl, and she's just, I don't even know how to describe her. She's beautiful, but she is in everything. She is so curious and just has me going. And my 36-year-old body, it's not the same, but that's why we've been doing Zumba.
Yeah, well, good for you, because I'm not.
To hopefully
and I need to.
keep up with her, because, girl, she's got me running everywhere. So do you feel like, because you do only have one, does the pressure heavier to get it right? Absolutely.
I mean, for me, it's really about, oh my God, is she going to hate me when she gets older because I yelled at her for not doing the dishes? Or, I handled this situation wrong, and, how is she going to remember that? She doesn't see me and see that I can actually not be that way.
Right.
When she was also younger, I was really stressed out. I mean, like I said, I was working 68 hours a week. And I just really had this stress that I didn't really understand that I carried until obviously like years later. And so I would take stuff out on her, not intentionally.
Right.
I mean, and we fought, oh my gosh, we fought so bad, especially when she didn't have to wear a school uniform anymore. And getting her ready for school was crazy. So yeah, like I think ultimately for me, it's, I always think about, oh my gosh, is she, like, I need to go to apologize to her, but then I have to remember, wait, I'm her parent and I'm supposed to teach her, like, how to act right and do things. I mean, we had a level of expectation in our house, and not like a strict expectation where you're like, bam, 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 but when we would go in parking lots, like we had a spot in the car, and we, I'd stand in the parking lot and load groceries in. I'm like, Allie, get in your spot. We were just talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
And she would stand there, and she would be, she would wait, and she knew, like, if she walked away, she would get in trouble because it's safety.
It's a safety issue, right?
At home, like, her biggest thing is like, we got to keep your room clean. And then when we moved into our house that we live in now, like, we started teaching her how to do laundry because it just made sense, I mean, again, I was working crazy hours and whatnot. So I think that, there's like a catch-22, right? Like, so I feel like, oh my gosh, did I give her too much responsibility? Or, oh my gosh, am I not giving her enough responsibility? But, like, for example, last night I was working an event, and my husband texted me a picture of dinner, and he was like, you need to step up your game. And I was like, who cooked that? And he was like, Allie did. And I was like, dang, look at her go. And it was a barbecue chicken that she had cooked on, and then she had cooked green beans and like mashed potatoes. And I was like, oh my gosh. So when I got home last night, I was starving, and so I tried the chicken that she had made, and it was delicious.
Oh,
like,
good.
So like, at that point, I'm like, okay, I am doing something right.
Exactly.
Right? Like, I'm not screwing up her whole life. And I kind of joke with her, and we have conversations, but I'm like, okay, so you can cook, you can clean. Now I just need to teach you how to pay bills, and you're going to be ready for life.
Exactly.
So, it's hard because I do, like, the boyfriends thing, like, we're dealing with that. Like, I get really, I don't know, I get really frustrated with myself because I know, like, if I try, like, and push too hard, like, you shouldn't be doing this or you should be doing that, like, she's going to do it and she's going to rebel. I mean, like, I know what I did when I was, her age. And I wasn't a bad kid, but I also, like, my parents figured out later in life there were things that I told them that were not true that I was doing. And they're like, what? So.
Well, see what had happened with us.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that, I used to have regrets. I used to have a lot of regrets, and years of therapy have helped with that. And my therapist told me one time, she said, you made the decisions that you made at the time because you thought those were the best decisions possible. And so, again, when she was younger, it was all her and her dad a lot of times because he didn't work a lot of weekends, but I did. And so over the years, like, she just became closer to him and all these things. And when I got the opportunity to, kind of do some things for myself so that I could spend more time at home with her, I feel like now is your younger years are important for your kids, but your teenage years are even way more important.
Right.
Because they're going to be moving out soon. Hopefully she lives at home, and she's welcome to live at home for as long as she needs to, not until she's like 30, but,
There's a time limit.
There's a time limit, but not really a time limit.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, I am fortunate now that I have conversations with her, and I'm able to be there for her, and she'll text me throughout the day, Mom, oh my gosh, or she'll call me after school, Mom, you're not going to believe this. And I'm like, I'm doing it right.
You are, because she trusts you. Those are things she's actively doing to show you that she trusts you,
Yeah.
that you have built that relationship. It's really hard, especially when you do have a job that's pulling you away. At one point, Lyric came up to me and was like, "Mom, why do you work so much?" And that kind of breaks your heart. You know what I mean? Because you're like, "Oh, am I dedicating too much time to this?" But I have to dedicate time to this because that's how we survive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really hard, but I think I didn't even think about the emotional part of it when you were talking about the connection. Where you were worried about how she was going to view you later on in life. I've never even sat down and thought about how you get through that, but I think what you're doing, you're building that connection for the future. The steps you're taking are, you're making her a responsible human. You're teaching her how to do things for herself, which I get what you mean about, is it too much? But because I teeter on that. I'm like, when do I start with the, okay, now you're doing everything for yourself? You know, what age is too young for that? Like, when do you start adding that in? But I think now that she can cook a full meal, you know, she is driving responsibly, like, it seems like you are doing a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
To me and probably everyone else out here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like now, I feel like now I am, right? So, like, I think, you know, even a couple years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I just struggled so bad. I mean, I would cry when we would fight because I'm like, she's going to hate me, you know, all these things. And to a certain extent, like, you know, I worked with my mom for years. I mean, I worked with her from the time I was probably 12 or 14 years old to, I mean, I was in my 30s when we stopped working together, when my mom retired, and, you know, my early 30s. And so, with that being said, that was kind of our relationship, was like a work relationship. And so my mom and I were close, but I didn't tell her a lot of things. You know, I just didn't feel like I needed to. I was always more the responsible kid and, you know, kind of more adult-like anyways, maturity level-wise. And looking back, you know, I wish that I was able to have conversations with my mom that I probably could have had, you know, with her then. I just didn't feel like I needed to or felt comfortable doing. And so I try to teach Allie that she can have those conversations with me, even if they're uncomfortable conversations, that it's just okay to have them.
Yeah.
Because I don't want her to feel like that when she gets older.
She can't come to you.
Yeah. Like she couldn't come to me, you know, or even be like, man, I wish I would have talked to my mom about this when I was a kid, you know. I think we all have those kind of like inside thoughts about like shoulda, woulda, couldas.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, and so the shoulda, woulda, couldas can take you down a path you don't want to be down for sure. But at the end of the day, I just really feel like it's important for her to know that she can communicate with me and feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to teeter the line of, I'm not going to say friend, but teeter the line of almost friend and parent to kind of build that, okay, yes, I am your mom, but we do need to talk about these things because I can help you through them. I've been there. I've probably experienced the exact same thing you have. I've probably got great advice for you. And I never want my kids to feel too scared to come and talk to me about something. That's something that I definitely hope I can work on if I'm not doing that correctly. My kids are really young right now, so it's kind of hard to know, right?
Yeah, I mean, wait, how old are your kids? What, 10?
They're both 11 right now.
11. Okay, so yeah, I mean, like you've got a few years.
Yeah.
And, you know, your boys, I mean, boys are more quiet and reserved anyways when it comes to like things that are happening, but you got a while for Riker and I think you'll be fine.
Oh, I hope so. It's hard. It's really hard to try and walk that line, to kind of find the balance of where the friend and the parent meet.
Yeah, and there's like, I mean, there's parents that, you know, my daughter's friends where I feel like, you know, there's not a line there where they're either too much of a parent or too much of a friend, and it's like, we still have to teach our kids like responsibility, and and their kids are great, like don't get me wrong, but I think as the kids get older, you tend to connect with parents that parent similar to you, and
Right.
that's the thing, is like the responsibilities that we teach our kids. I don't expect her to cook dinner at any night of the week.
Right.
I told her last night, hey, I'm not going to be home. I want you to make sure that you're home with Dad for dinner tonight. And she was like, okay. And she took it upon herself to cook dinner. Like,
Right.
great. Like,
Yes.
I'm going to let her do that. But, I mean, we don't have, her job is dishes. Her job is keeping her bathroom clean and keeping her bedroom clean.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times where she'll be like, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm cleaning, Mom. I'm bored. I'm like, oh my God, yes. Like, ugh.
Send her to my house someday, girl. No,
So, but,
yeah.
I mean, for the most part, I'm doing it right. I do only get the one shot. And so I do want to make sure that, whatever I'm telling her and whatever I'm doing for her is, it's going to make me feel like when she's older, man, I was a great mom.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
You are a great mom. If no one has told you today, you
Well,
are a
thank
great
you.
mom.
You are too.
Thank you.
I think everyone, we figure out,
Mm-hmm.
like, are we doing it right?
Who knows?
We don't know because we're learning.
Yeah, we're learning.
We've never been in this part of our life before.
No, and even if you ask someone else that has, every kid is different. That was what I was going to say. So, like with multiple kids, yeah, I have multiple kids, but each one of them is different. They're all going to turn out differently regardless of how I parent them. I could parent them all the same, and they're still going to be different humans.
My sister and I are the same. Like, we were parented exactly the same, and we are complete opposites.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I do have multiple. I do have multiple shots essentially, but do I really? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of, it's one of the hard things because each one of them is so uniquely their own person. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Moms carry a lot of responsibility, and I think, especially when you do have multiple, you're carrying the weight of making sure each one of them, because I mean, what happens if one of your kids turns into a serial killer? Like, that's not something I want to think about, but Charles Manson's mama existed, right? I'm sure she didn't raise him to be a serial killer.
No, yeah, you're right.
So it's like, I think about stuff like that. I probably shouldn't. That's a little morbid maybe, but it's like, oh my God, I want to make sure I don't mess these children up. Am I doing anything that badly? But did she do anything? Yeah. Who knows? I guess that's probably a whole nother.
That's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother episode and topic conversation, girl. So is there something that you swore as a parent you were never gonna do, but you ended up doing? You ended up let slide now?
Not really.
No.
Oh, yes. The infamous cell phone and TikTok thing.
Oh
my gosh. So when we moved to, so my daughter had an iPad in our old house, and our neighbors, like, she grew up with them. Mm-hmm. And so when we moved to our new neighborhood, she could go next door, like, literally, and if there was an issue or anything, and so we neighbors were always home. Mm-hmm. But when we moved into our new neighborhood, houses are a little further apart. We didn't know anybody, so we got her a phone. She was 10. She had just turned 10 and going to be 11 in a few months. Mm-hmm. And so we went ahead and got her a phone because, getting off the bus, she would be at home by herself, and that way she could call 911 or call us if she needed anything. And then we were like, no, we're not going to do social media. And then I caved.
And now she has the TikTok?
She's been having TikTok. When she played softball, like a travel ball, her coach would always be like, can you get them to stop doing the TikTok things on the field? And I'm like, I'm trying.
The kids are obsessed.
Yeah,
with the
she doesn't
TikTok.
do TikTok videos anymore. Like,
No.
she doesn't make them as much anymore. She does the little more mature ones,
Okay.
which is fine. But I think social media was hard. Snapchat, I hate Snapchat, but that's how all the kids are communicating these days. And so we had a really extensive conversation about like being responsible on Snapchat for you, and like if you were to get inappropriate photos sent to you,
Right.
like what do we need to do? Like we had all of those conversations.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I was like,
Yeah, you had to
yeah,
bend a little bit on.
I did. Yeah.
But it was kind of out of necessity. Now TikTok's not, but I get it. It's hard. All of the kids have it nowadays, and they're begging you, like, please, I promise,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna blah blah blah.
Yeah, and
But-
kids are mean, and so if your kid doesn't have it, like they're making fun of them, and
I know,
Mhm.
and that's one of the things I'm worried about. As we get older, the kids are more mean, and it makes me nervous.
yeah.
Going into middle school with all of that. So do you think with that, like the social media not gentle parenting, but that is kind of the trend now, is the gentle parenting trend.
We were not gentle parents. She got spankings,
Uh-huh.
not very many,
Right.
but she did get them, and we did the whole timeout thing. But I mean, really, she's just a good kid,
Yeah.
so we,
You didn't have a need to
Yeah.
be.
and we don't like, used to, we would scream and holler, and she would scream and holler back, and like, we had our first big fight just the other day that we've had in probably months.
Mm-hmm.
And because I've been through therapy. And I say
Big
that so
advocate for
lovingly,
therapy,
like
yes.
I'm telling you, you should do it if you haven't. But not being as stressed out, like I was able to like take a step back,
Mm-hmm.
because she used to get like, we would fight and she would call her dad
Yeah.
and be like, Mom said this and blah blah blah, and then Dad would call me and he'd be like, why do you make her so upset? And I'm like, why are you taking her side? You're not even here. You don't know what happened.
That's so funny. He automatically takes her.
Yes.
Man, what is it about daddy's little girls, man?
Well, so the other day he didn't take her side.
Okay.
She thought he did, but he didn't. We kind of had a conversation about it, but either way, yeah. So we weren't gentle parent. We do have a lot of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
That's really now it's more conversational piece.
Yeah.
But I think when they're younger, it's really hard to have a conversation because we don't want to teach them too much too early.
Right. You're right. Especially when you have very independent children, they are wanting to do more on their own. But again, when is it too early?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want them to try to be too independent too soon and doing those things too soon, but you also want to teach them to be independent.
Yeah.
It's a really hard balance, but it seems like to me you've kind of figured it out.
I mean, it's trial and error.
Yeah.
Everything is trial and error.
Because each kid is different.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to learn at a different pace and speed.
Yeah.
I just have such bad OCD that I'm weird about like the housework and stuff. Like y'all are not loading the dishwasher. I have food, fear of others doing dishes. Like it's just a thing. I don't like it, so that's probably never going to be a chore for them. I don't know. I just have things I do particularly.
Yeah, so me too. I load the dishwasher a certain way, and I get like frustrated when I go to unload it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she could have put so much more dishes in here. And then I'm like, wait a minute, she actually just did the dishes. So I think with time, as the kids get older, like I think you'll probably relax a little bit more on that.
Okay. I'm
Um,
going to trust you.
yeah, because I'm really OCD about that. Like, I load the dishwasher a certain, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I also taught her how to do it that way, and then sometimes she just like puts whatever in there.
She goes rogue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't do that. They'll be having like the dishes facing upwards and like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how they do it. Has there ever been a time when you've ever kind of like laid awake at night replaying a moment with her?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
I still do it.
Mhm.
Even now, as I've been through, like I still do it. Like I remember doing her hair one morning, and I think we probably did her hair, I don't know, 10 times. I used to like do the little side, like the braid and do it into like a side, like ponytail. Like her favorite was to like braid it around the side and put it up in ponytail over here. And so I think we had probably done her hair, I don't even know how many times. And she was like, I don't like it, and blah, 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 and I don't like, like just, and I don't know, I guess we were running late, and I literally took the brush and I just slammed it on the counter, and it broke. Like, the brush broke.
Yeah.
And she still talks about that. Like, she's like, Mom, you remember that time you broke that brush? And I was like, yeah, because you were arguing with me about how ugly your hair looked, and I thought it looked good, and all these things. And, I mean, I don't know. But I do. Like, conversations that we have. Like, sometimes, did I say the right thing? Did I do the right thing? You know,
but I think the fact that you acknowledge that and you are actively, you care, means that you are a good mom. You're worried about the impact or the impressions you're leaving on her and what it's going to do. She remembered this one event from how many ever years ago. She's probably going to remember it forever.
Yeah.
You know, now it's funny, right?
It is funny now, yeah.
Now it's funny and you guys can laugh about it. But those are some of the moments you tried to avoid, right? Losing your cool, which is kind of hard sometimes, especially when you have a lot of things going on. You were talking about being stressed and other outside pressures and work, and it's hard to stay emotionally rounded all the time.
Well, you can't, and that's the thing is like, you know, when we were financially strapped, I mean, we didn't let our kid know that,
right?
You know, like, I mean, hell, at one point, well, even when she was still a baby, so she wouldn't even known, but I mean, we were having to put, you know, groceries on a credit card just because, I mean, when he got laid off, we went to the food stamp place and we had $19 too much in our checking account. $19. And so they're like, well, I was like, but that's going to be gone today. And they're like, well, we're sorry, that's what you're reporting. And I was like, so what $19, like, and we vowed never after that, like, to ever. And, you know, the thing is that we just lived through it, and it took us, you know, 10 years. I mean, we had repossessions, we had all the things, like, we never told her what those meant or what happened. But it was out of our control because we were trying, like, we were busting ass. I was working 2 jobs, he was working 2 jobs, like, we were just go, and some point it just wasn't enough, and so we were able to dig ourselves out of it, but we never let her know, like, when we were financially strapped, even when she was older, when we were paying off those debts and trying to get things going, and even now, like, you know, with everything getting so expensive. But the bonus is that she's learning about money because she has a job,
right? And
so like, Friday was, she had her friends over because it was the day after the last day of school, and her job was to get drinks. And I was like, well, Publix has sodas, buy 2 get 2 free. Why don't you get those? Spend $20, you can get 12 packs of sodas. I come home that afternoon. Guess what that girl had bought at the store? A gallon of tea and a gallon of lemonade. And I was like, dang,
she was like,
she's being cheap.
$7, have a great day.
Yes.
Y'all better drink what you get. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
Yes. So it's little things like that now. Yeah.
That's great. But that shows you that you are doing something right. You're teaching her how to be that's our job as parents, is to raise them to be responsible, respectful humans.
Yeah.
And she's showing you that, even though you don't feel like you probably did because you said you were gone, you taught her something somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere along the line.
You and Dad did something right somewhere along those lines.
Yeah.
So, pat yourself on the back, girl.
Pat myself on the back.
Pat yourself on the back. So what's one thing that scares you the most about raising a child in today's kind of world?
I think, you know, being in the real estate world and seeing, I think the biggest thing is her not having the opportunities that we have. Because, you know, just economically and financially, like, it's hard. And, you know, I mean, a starter home is $350. Like, unless you're doing a townhouse or something like that.
Right.
But like a single family starter home, it's really hard to find something in this area that's less than $350 that's actually worth, living in.
We probably looked at 25 to 30 houses before. No, maybe not 30. Probably 20 to 25 houses before we landed on this one. And all of those other ones were probably more expensive and ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how some people are buying homes right now, because it was hard for me years ago.
Yeah. Our first rent payment that we made when we lived in a house was $750 a month. Yeah, our apartment was $750 and our house was $750. That's why we moved into the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then we thought it was a huge deal when our rent went up to $950. And then we thought it was a huge deal when our rent went up to $1,100. And so when we bought our house, like our payment went up like $700 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a little more than that now because of homeowners insurance and taxes and whatnot.
Right.
But like then, I mean, like I would give anything.
I would give anything to go back to my old mortgage at my other house. Like I would.
Yeah.
If we could have stayed there, we had to move. Like we had absolutely no choice.
Yeah.
But and that 3%. Lucky getting a 3%. Probably never ever again.
No, it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Can someone bring that back? Anybody? Can someone make a call? I don't know who we're supposed to call, but somebody call somebody.
Yeah. Sustainability wise, it was not going to happen,
Yeah.
Again, but, or stay that way for a long time, but still and truly, like that's the biggest thing for me. I think raising a kid is, financially, I mean, it costs double what it did when I went to college.
Right, yeah. Everything is
so expensive.
so expensive.
I mean, my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law pay almost $1,900 a month in childcare.
Mm-hmm. We used to pay, oh God, what did we pay? We used to pay $3,000. I was literally going to work to pay for daycare. It did not make any sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. But on the opposite end, I understand why they're charging so much.
Yeah.
Because if you break it down per hour, it's only like $10 or $15 per hour.
Yeah.
Depending, so I get it as the business.
Yeah.
But as the parent,
exactly. Like that's your whole paycheck.
that's my whole paycheck. Mm-hmm. How am I supposed to have a mortgage? How am I supposed to buy groceries? How am I supposed to have a car payment? Thankfully when we, had to move, I was, able to do that, but not every parent can do that.
Yeah.
They don't have the resources. So everybody is struggling right now, and I don't know the answer, but I do agree with you that I think that's something I worry about, which is why I think generational wealth is something that's super important, but not very attainable, for absolutely everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if you can save, if you can save money, I mean, we struggle to save money sometimes, depending on, things. I mean, and you get caught up in the world and you buy this or buy that, and, next thing you know, like, oh crap. But I think, just financially, like, that's another reason why we decided just not to bring in another child in the world. Is like, she's at this point,
right.
She was 10 or 11, and we were like, for sure, like, we're not going to do this.
Does it ever make you feel guilty, though, that you didn't? Like, do you have any guilt around it?
Yeah, I mean, I do, because, like, when we get older, I mean, it'll just be her.
Yeah.
Now, the bonus is that she is close to her cousins, and I think that, this particular set of cousins that she is close with, and our family, too, like, our friends, their kids, like, they love Allie.
Yeah.
I mean, she's great with kids, and I think for her, she'll be fine, but it's like, oh wow. Because at this point in my life, my mom passed away in October, and then last, a year ago, this past April, my father-in-law suddenly passed away. And so, granted, my mother-in-law has 4 kids, but like me and my husband are her oldest kids, because I mean, she's basically one of my moms too, because I've been with her son forever.
Right.
But like, at this point in my life, you know, I'm the oldest on my mom's side. I'm the middle kid on my dad's side because I have a half brother who lives in East Tennessee.
Mm.
And so, as the most responsible kid, my sister has 3 kids. Like, she doesn't have a lot of opportunity to go. I'm taking care of things for my parents.
Right.
You know, I have my dad and my stepdad that I take care of. And, like, that's hard carrying that burden.
Pressure.
And so, I do think about with her, man, you know, but again, I know if James and I set ourselves up for what we need and we have a plan,
Mm-hmm.
that when she gets, you know, older and has to this point in her life where she has to help us,
Right.
you know, it won't be so difficult for her.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because you've taken the steps to set her up for success, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Has anybody ever made comments about y'all only have, like, do they ever?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a buddy who, they had kids later in life, and so their son had just turned 5, and he's like, when y'all gonna have another one? And so we always be like, when are you gonna have another one?
Right.
Like, we're done.
We're
And he's
done.
like, we're done. I'm like, we're almost done. Like,
Right.
she's almost 18. Like,
That's true.
we legit are almost done.
Yeah.
Not really, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. You guys are almost to the point where you guys can get back to, you said you guys were starting to just, like, reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Does that look like for you, are you guys just spending a little bit more time together? Do you guys do more date nights, or?
I mean, it just really, you know, I don't know. It's hard to explain. When you're at home and you're watching TV, I mean, like, our nights sometimes, like, he's on this side of the couch and I'm on this side of the couch. But, you know, we do spend a lot of more dinners together, just me and him, whether they're at home or they're out eating out or whatever.
Yeah.
We cook dinner, you know, because if she's at work, like, we'll fix dinner and then we'll have her a plate. I mean, we've always sat at the table for every meal that we have. We very
That's
seldom,
great.
like, breakfast, lunch, dinner, if we're at home, we're at the table.
Yeah.
And so it is kind of weird, like, just me and him sitting at the table. But it's also really special because when we were just married, we had just lost his grandmother right before we got married.
Mm.
And so I was helping him go through that, and his mom. And then he was working night shift, I was working days.
Mm.
When I was working nights and he was off, you know, and he was working days, like, it was just, we didn't have a lot of time together when we
To
were
connect.
early married,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So now it's really nice that we can have dinner together
Yeah.
on a Tuesday night, and
Mm-hmm.
we've cooked, like, he helps me cook dinner, or we'll cook dinner together or whatever, or I'll have dinner ready for him when he gets home. But for the most part, you know, that's what our nights look like, and it's just, it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the things you do have to do. I think we also get lost a lot in parenting, that we do forget to nurture our relationship with our spouse. But
Yeah.
eventually, like you said, the kids are going to be gone, and it's just going to be you two at that
Mm-hmm.
table. So you guys have got to start learning each other again. And I'm assuming, you know, because one day she will probably eventually fully move out, then it's really going to be quiet. And you guys get the chance to, you know, just kind of have fun. And
I mean, we do that now when she's, like, not at home, you know,
Mhm.
where we'll go and we'll go to breakfast and then we'll go to make a Lowe's trip or whatever,
Okay, yeah.
whatever the case. And, you know, we laugh and cut up and, you know, we'll work in the yard or, you know, whatever. But I think, you know, there was a point in our relationship where we were stressed out and all the
Mhm.
things, and it kind of pushed us apart. And so
Yeah.
it's nice now, you know, obviously we got through that, but years later, like, looking back, we just kind of, we're just like, oh, you remember when? And he was like, yeah. And, you know, or he'll say, you know, something like that. And, but we're now able to, like, just kind of look back and be like, man, I'm so glad that we got past that phase in our relationship then, because now, like, it's great. Like, he's,
Right.
like, I'll call him before I call other people because I just want to call and tell him something, you know?
Yeah.
And same for him, you know, so.
That's your bestest friend.
Mhm.
That's the way that it should be. That's one of the reasons why I think a lot of marriages last so long. I just had Audra on my last one, and her and Casey are the same exact way. They are literally best friends, and I think that's one of the key things. You gotta be with someone you want to spend time with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
actually want to go and do things with, without, your kids or whatever. So pick a good person that you actually want to spend time with. That's key, most definitely.
We don't have a lot of the same like fun things. Like he goes and shoots skeet and he goes hunting, and I have no interest in that. But I love concerts, and I drug him to a wedding, but he still came.
Right?
It's that kind of thing. Yeah,
give and a take, right? You have to do a little bit of what he likes and a little bit of what you like.
Yeah.
You don't have to like all of the same things. That's not a thing. I think some of the people that are like that probably kind of boring, right? Where they just like all of the exact same things.
Well, I think that there are, people that try to mold themselves to their significant other. Like, oh, well, they like that, so I'm going to go like that, And that's why I try to teach Allie, like, be your own person. Like, you be Allie, and, like, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've told her that since she was little. Like, you be Allie, and I think that's what's helping her kind of figure out the whole boyfriend dating scene too, is like, just because he likes it doesn't mean you have to like it.
No.
And she's able to stand up for herself, and
he can go do that, and then you can go do that, and you guys can come back together and hang out later.
Yep, exactly.
So, what are some beautiful things about the bond you both have because she is your only child?
Well, the crazy thing is that she is so much like me. It's not even funny. I have created a monster when it comes to concerts.
Yeah.
Like, the child went to her first concert without me.
Okay.
Came to me and said, "Mom, will you buy me these tickets?" It was Tracy Lawrence, by the way.
Okay.
Like, the fact that she loves 90s country is awesome. But she is so much like me that at some point I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how is it gonna be? But she's also so much like her dad. And I think the fact that her and I do butt heads, but now we have more of a greater relationship, it really reminds me that I am doing something right. That's really the most beautiful thing about it, is like, as many times as I've second guessed myself in a lot of ways and a lot of things that I've done for her, I'm like, yeah, I am doing something right. When she is playing, Nickelback, or she's singing to Nirvana, or she's singing to Shania Twain, like, when she plays the songs and the things and loves the things that I did, Three Doors Down, like, I love, like, rock music is partly my favorite, and when she is singing and jamming to those, and I'm just like, oh my God, that's my girl.
That's my girl.
So I love that.
You raised her right. God, I don't know about the new music these days. I feel like we just need to live in like the early 2000s and back in the music.
Best era of music ever.
Like, that was just the best time.
Yeah.
I found my old CD collection the other day, and do you remember burning CDs?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
I had so many.
I said something to Brock. He was like, "What, burning a CD?" I was like, "Oh my God, am I that old for real?" But no, I have so many that are just like drawn on. I need to listen to them. I need to buy me like a boom box and listen to all of them.
So the car that we ended up giving her my old car, and I bought me a new one. And so the car that I had, it had a CD player in it, and so we would play CDs. But when she was little, like, I would play CDs. Like, she loves Jason Aldean, and I got to take her to the Jason Aldean concert this past year, and just like little things like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are special because you get to share that just with her, and you're not having to split your time, because as a mom of multiple kids, you do have to try and equally split your time fairly between all of them, and it's not easy.
Well, you split your time between your kids. I have to compete with her dad because she's a daddy's girl, right? And so, like, I compete with dad, and so when her and I can go to a concert and have a good time and dance, and she's singing, that is, like, her first concert she ever went to was Eric Church, and I have the picture of when I took her to that concert, and it's like that. I mean, she was like probably 6 years old.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's very special because you love events so much, you like, you know, working them, you like going to them. So that's something that you hold special that she also holds special to her. And that could be you guys' thing forever.
She hates crowds and she hates people, but by God, she loves going to concerts.
She loves the concert. It's something about them. I think like when you're at a concert or you're at an event, you're just if it's done right? Because there are some events we go to that are not magical. But if it's done right, you're just like transported into another world. Like rules don't apply. Like it's just anything goes. You don't feel self-conscious. Like you're just dancing in your chair. It's just it's a vibe. It really is.
She's asked me to take her to Stagecoach one year, and I'm like, all right, well, when you get a little bit older, we'll go.
Oh, she's gonna end up having you at the Rue too.
Yeah, so
I can't do that.
I probably won't ever do Bonnaroo, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So but like you said, you split your time, and you know, I compete with her friends and her boyfriend, and but like I think the biggest thing is like competing with her time with her dad, in which, you know, she'll go and do things with him, or you know, she likes to hunt sometimes with him.
Okay.
So like it's good that her and I have that kind of connection.
Yeah, you have that.
Yeah.
One little thing for just you. Well, at the end of the day, what do you hope she remembers most about you?
Ooh, that's a good one. I just really honestly just remember, like, hope that she remembers how much that I do love her and care about her, because and I'll probably get emotional, but after losing my mom, the last, you know, couple years, I did not go see my mom a lot. She lived 10 minutes down the road from me, and I just never made enough time to go over there. And but one thing I do remember about my mom is that she was always so proud of me. And I hope that Allie knows that too, that I'm so proud of her. Like, she honestly is she's just a great kid. And while I don't expect her to be a perfect kid, I think at one point I thought I had different expectations for her. And then I had to remember, like, she's not me.
Right.
And so while she has a lot of her dad in her and a lot of her other influence, you know, we have friends that she feels really comfortable with, her godparents and things like that. But that's just really what I hope, is that she always knows that no matter what, I'm going to be proud of her. I may not be happy about whatever decision she makes, but I'm going to be proud in the fact that I raised a good kid, and she's going to be a good adult. She just is.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Mama loves you. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
I love that so much. She knows. I think she knows. Just seeing you guys in your pictures, and you know,
she's a mess.
like, she knows how much her mama loves her, so she will definitely carry that. And as long as you guys just continue to grow and build on that bond as she continues to get older. I will say that mine and my mom's relationship is one that I will always cherish. She has done a very excellent job of just kind of building that trust, that foundation that has transferred, you know, for many years. So keep doing what you're doing. It will matter. I promise you, it will matter in the long run, because mine matters to me. So, but last thing before we go, if another mom was listening right now, terrified, okay, she's completely terrified, she's messing up her kid, what would you tell her?
I would tell her that it's okay to make mistakes, because we aren't perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. But as long as you go into whatever you're doing as a parent, as a mom, as a wife, as whatever, with the understanding that you're going to make mistakes, and how you handle those mistakes in those situations is really what matters at the end.
Yes.
If you understand that you make that mistake and you're like, oh crap, I messed up, I'm going to go tell them. You know, I do that. I tell Allie that. I'm sorry, kid. I didn't mean to yell at you. I'm just having a moment. With the whole grief thing, like, we've had that conversation. You know, I can feel the grief, and I'll kind of get on edge, and I'll snap at her, and then I'll go back. We're going to make mistakes, and it's okay to be scared, because there's no book on how to raise your kid.
Nope.
There's no book. There are books, but there's no books on how to raise your kid.
Your kid. Right.
Your kid.
Exactly.
Because everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
just again, do the best you can. Show up as much as you can, at the capacity you can.
Yeah.
Make the decisions right, for your family, for your child, as best as you see fit. I think showing up really is half the battle, and again, there is no rule book to this.
There's not.
You're gonna make mistakes. Normalize apologizing. That's one thing I do. Like she said, if you mess up, it's okay. Just go back and tell them. They're gonna mess up forever. It's the mistakes happen. It's how you correct the mistakes.
Yeah, and honestly, just like you said, show up and be there, because how involved you are in your kids' lives and your kids' friends' lives.
Right.
That really makes a difference in the long run. My mom made it a kid house. I've made our house a kid house, and the kids love coming to hang out with us. The teenagers love coming to our house, and so that's what makes it the most special.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I love that you're the house. We've started to become the house too. All the kids want to come over and play, but I think people like that are very special, because some moms know when your kids are at our house, they're safe, right? We're gonna always take care of your babies and make sure they're nurtured correctly. So
and her friends, they feel comfortable talking to me about things. So when they're not comfortable talking to their own parent, like if I felt like it needed, so that you're creating a safe space for your kids' friends as well. I'm fortunate that Allie has a couple of those women in her life that she may not want to talk to me, but she can definitely talk to them, and they're going to tell me if it's a matter of emergency, but they're also going to give her information, and say, hey, I'm not going to tell your mom this, but just so you know, or hey, next time I need to tell your mom this.
Right.
And that's really the thing, is just be involved in your kid's life, because if you're not involved, you don't know what's happening.
Nope.
That's when you lose the distance.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you create the distance, and that's when you lose them.
Yeah, when you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your great wisdom.
Well,
and
thanks for having me.
I know, this has been so much fun. But before we end today's episode, I just want to remind every mom listening of something. The fact that you worry about messing your child up probably means you care deeply enough to be a really good mom.
Agreed.
Yes. Bad moms don't sit awake wondering if they're loving their kids enough. Bad moms don't replay conversations in their heads hoping they handled them better. Bad moms don't carry the weight and pressure that so many of us quietly carry every single day. Motherhood is terrifying because there's no manual, no guarantee, and no perfect way to do it. We're all just trying to raise good humans while being human ourselves. And maybe our kids won't remember every perfect meal, every perfectly handled moment, or every mistake we made, but they will remember feeling loved. They'll remember being hugged, being listened to, being shown up for, being safe, and honestly, maybe that matters more than perfection ever could. So to the mom listening who feels like she's failing, you are not alone. You are not the only one scared. We are all just out here winging it, one day at a time. So thank you so much for spending today with us. You as well, my love. We're really glad you're here. We'll see you next week. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our episodes. And until next time, remember, you are not alone and you're doing better than you think. Bye.